Hi, and welcome to February's question, when is it appropriate to have sex? And how have your opinions changed? Well, first of all, who am I to tell you when it's appropriate to have sex? I can tell you what I think. You can try it on and see if it fits. Sex, at the most basic level, is about procreation. So in the most basic sense, you're ready to have sex when you're ready to accept the responsibility of having a child. You do not necessarily have to be ready to be a parent at that exact moment, but you have to be aware that it is a very real possibility as a result of your actions. Or you have to be ready to put up your child for adoption and find a good home. As a side note, if you choose out of your own volition to have sex, whether or not you use birth control, I do not think you should consider abortion as an option, regardless of whether or not it is legal. If you make the choice to have sex, you need to be prepared to face the consequences. Morally, I do not think abortion should be an option, and it is an option I would never choose if I had the say. If my partner wanted to, I would work tirelessly to dissuade them. But sex for us creatures of infinite complexity is about much more than babies. We are one of two species on the planet that have sex for fun, which is simultaneously awesome and complicated. I don't think a willingness to accept the biological responsibilities of sex is the only criteria for its appropriateness. I also think it is different in every situation and for every person. Especially the first time you have sex, I think it should be with someone with whom you care deeply about and have a great deal of trust in. Sex can be scary, embarrassing, and painful. Should it be someone you love? Yes, although we probably need another forum to discuss what is love. Yet I do not think that they need to be your life partner or your soulmate. The social norm of sexual monogamy was an absolute necessity in the development of our species. Without knowing who the father of the child is, who will protect and provide for the mother and the child while they are weak and unable to do so for themselves, during pregnancy and beyond? In our current day and age, though, we have birth control, making it easier to have sex and not get pregnant. Plus, we add DNA tests and child support for the crummy people that try to weasel out of their parental responsibilities. It is just as important as ever, and perhaps even more so, that the parents of the child are involved in its life and upbringing. But again, sex is not just about children anymore. It never was just about children. Why else would we derive so much pleasure out of it? Why else would women have a clitoris, a sexual organ devoted entirely to pleasure? Sex is fun. We want to have it all the time. That's why we get into so much trouble. We all know that it can be incredibly dangerous, physically and mentally. AIDS and hepatitis B are arguably two of the most deadly diseases on the planet. Infidelity and sexual problems are surely in the top 6 reasons for divorce. I think the problem is that we don't talk about it enough with each other. I think if you want to have casual sex, it's appropriate as long as you and your partner are very clear and communicative about what is going on and what you want out of your relationship. Plus, you have to keep the lines of communication open, because opinions change. I'm sure we've all seen happy relationships get nasty when people stop being on the same page. Sex can also be very spiritual, and I think it's a shame that it's been excluded from so many religious practices and traditions. It can be a challenge to focus such intense bodily energy into the spiritual realm, but that makes success even more rewarding. If you can glorify God in song, then you can glorify God in sex. It is beautiful because it is both an individual and a shared worship of God. Plus, we don't have to go it alone. From an old Jewish mystical tradition of attaining an intensely erotic vision of God to The Multi-Orgasmic Man, a book by Douglas Abrams and Montauk Chia, there are resources to help us figure out how we can embody the divine in our bodily union. Sex is so powerful, emotional, overwhelming, and beautiful that I'm hard-pressed to think of a more important time to have God in my life. So anyway, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this question, and jump into the forum to respond, because a lot of people are talking about, especially my comments on abortion, which my opinions may change as time goes on. But right now, I'm talking only as what I would do and not, passing it off. So anyway, enjoy and see you next month.